Hello, my name is Charlene DeChico. It is with sincere passion that I am eager to learn about people, culture, true history, and the overall human experience. Join with me as I embark on this journey. This is your Community Spotlight. NHSC College hosted a microgreens tasting and demonstration event led by Jessica Uran, who encouraged members to grow their microgreens at home. This class allowed students to demonstrate and see what they need to do at home to have their very own microgreens.
Container. Yep. You put a substrate in it, whether it's this felt, clean potting soil, something to hold moisture and sprout a seed in. Okay. And then you'll take your seeds and just shake them out wherever you want on there. You just shake them out. Okay. And if you don't like, if they're too thick, you can add more. If it's too thin, you can spread it out a little bit.
I don't like
You
that.
don't have to worry about where they are. The plants don't care. That's my...
I care though.
Yeah, I know. So our type A likes to line it up, make sure it's just right, but the plants will grow as long as they have what they need. And that's just about right. So they're close.
Like I'm very even here.
And you can spread them a little bit.
Yeah,
They need to be close to each other, but not on top of each other.
Okay.
And then from there, you can use a spray bottle or a water bottle with holes in the top or a gentle watering can.
Okay.
And get it nice and wet. That way the seeds can sprout. And then you'll find something to cover this with, whether you have maybe a reused food container that has a lid.
Okay.
A saran wrap, I found the seed stuck too, so I found press and seal worked better.
So you put them somewhere to germinate where?
Oh, so ideal spot is on top of like a fridge, a warm spot. And if you're using soil, you don't bury the seed. You just sprinkle the seed right on top.
You don't bury it.
Water it. They do need light to germinate. But on top of my fridge I literally crammed it between the fridge and the cupboard, and they sprouted in 3 days. It took 3 to 4 to sprout, so in another 4 days, if they're the easy ones, like a radish that grows really fast, it's ready to eat in 7 days.
I can imagine.
Once you take the lid off and you've got them outside in the sunny window, you need to check them twice a day to make sure they don't dry out. I've been watering twice a day.
Jessica also provided resources and information regarding the health and wellness benefits of growing microgreens. Class attendees were given their own microgreen kits and microgreen seeds to take home to try the experiment, as Jessica explained to them thoroughly in the class. She encourages students and community members to check out the college website or contact her directly about the next class or how to get more involved. So the question is, you're going to do some work on the museum, and just how will that benefit and highlight MHA Nation?
The Military Museum is going to start in the early days of North Dakota, even before statehood, and we will have so much history from the tribal communities. So I would encourage individuals at MHA Nation and any of the other tribal communities in the state, if they have things that they would like to see in the new Military Museum, to reach out to Bill Peterson at the Heritage Center. He is leading this initiative with the North Dakota National Guard. I've also heard from the governor that he has proclaimed 2024 the year of military and veteran suicide prevention. We lose over 6,000 veterans and military personnel every year by suicide. So we want to increase the awareness and destigmatize mental health. So many of you know that 911 is for physical safety, 988 is for mental health safety. We are doing a lot of work now to promote 988. It will be on all of our state websites, and you'll see more of that. So those resources will be more accessible, and hopefully we can prevent and eliminate suicide moving forward in our state. Last thing I wanted to update you on is the Military Museum. This is really exciting news. I mentioned it at our meeting in June. The state is going to build a world-class military museum attached to our Heritage Center and State Museum. We do have conceptual drawings. It's going to be about 54,000 square feet. There will be 20,000 square feet of exhibit space,
and a great space for events that will hold up to 400 individuals. So maybe you can have your conference there sometime in the future.
Hi, I'm Josh Hart from the Diabetes Program. This is our Healthy Heart event. We're doing booths over here with information to keep healthy and take preventative measures against heart disease. And then we have speakers giving education.
So what's your main objective for today?
Is to educate people on how to keep a healthy heart. That's the main thing, I would say. Spread the word of good education and prevention for heart disease.
Hi, I'm Gwendolyn Davis. I'm the director at the Fort Berthold Diabetes Program.
Marilyn Yellowbird, Director for Public Health Nursing. Public Health is assisting the diabetes program with the Healthy Heart event. We're providing COVID shots and flu shots. And then we're kind of helping with some other stuff.
Yep, and the diabetes program is doing blood pressure screenings, blood glucose screenings, and then total cholesterol screenings, and providing education. And then we have some of our patient registration staff going over some benefits. And then we have our behavioral health department, Rhonda, and she has some education there as well.
The diabetes program also has samples. They have black brownies. They are delicious. They also have salt-free taco seasoning. I've tried them, and the brownies are actually made from black beans.
Wow.
They are delicious. You would believe that they were made from anything. They have no sugar. In fact, they're sugar-free and they're delicious. Basically, we want to teach people to eat healthy. And that's really the biggest thing as a public health nurse. One of the things people, when I see them getting a pre-diabetic, we teach them how to eat healthy, changing those simple diet habits. And you don't have to jump in all at once. You can do a little bit at a time. Some healthy sugar, some healthy things that you can put on your table, some healthy recipes to cook with. And do it little by little. That and exercise. I've seen people turn their diagnoses around where they don't have to take any medication.
Yeah.
They can actually just go ahead and just continue on with their diets, and that's really kind of what our focus is the diet. That's what diabetes is. Diabetes is really good at giving that type of education.
Yeah. Well, we're focusing on prevention and lifestyle change, while also helping those who are already diagnosed with heart disease or diabetes, implement lifestyle changes into their daily activities. So that includes diet, fitness, making sure they're taking their medications if they're already diagnosed. So, but a good goal, from this event is prevention and educating our community. So,
letting them know some of the stuff that it is offered. Because stop over at the diabetes program. They have an excellent exercise room. Their equipment is top rate. It's Peloton, those kinds of things. They're very, very good, and that we don't. Like I said, you don't need to jump in and do it all at once. You don't need to run the Boston Marathon. You can start, 5 minutes a day. When that gets easy, go to 10 minutes a day. When that gets easy, work yourself up to at least 20 minutes walking. That's a very simple exercise, very good for you. Your thigh muscles are the biggest muscle in your body. It needs a lot of glucose to work. So that is one of the best exercises that I have seen, and it's easy.
So our fitness center is open to all community members, and we're open from 8 to 5. You just have to get a fitness assessment completed prior to being able to use our walking track, which we have upstairs in our building, and then we have a full fitness center.
And some people think that, okay, I'll just go to the doctor and then he'll okay me. You still have to have a fitness assessment by the diabetes fitness technicians.
Do you have to schedule that?
Yes. Yep. It's a scheduled fitness assessment. Our techs will do a glucose, a total cholesterol, an in-body assessment, and then you'll just do a walk on the treadmill.
This is the annual Healthy Heart event. I'm not sure who sponsors it, but I do know the Diabetes Center and the public health nurses were a big part of putting this together. So they do this once a year. They asked me to speak today on heart health. They kind of just gave me free rein as to what to speak about. And I thought, nobody just wants to hear the same old song and dance, to eat right, exercise, just do it. Because you're supposed to. Sometimes people just need a little bit of reasoning as to why it's a good thing to do. So that was kind of my purpose and intent for speaking here today, was to explain why they're good for you and why it's a good idea to start, and to prepare for as we age. So the heart health piece is just one small portion of us. We're all these moving parts and working parts together. So this is just kind of focusing on that. But the diabetes does play a big piece into it. But I, again, tried to focus on the heart health. Because if you don't have your heart, how's the rest of you gonna work? That's why it's so important for the heart piece of it. And I see a lot more of it here in Indian country. You know, we took care of all kinds of people at Mayo. So I just know that coming home, we just have high rates of heart disease and stroke and diabetes, and that's why it's so important for us to do these events. For diabetes care, I think just making sure you're seeing your provider regularly, always making goals to what A1C you want to be at, because that's the measure for the diabetes. Every 3 months we take a look at a scale to see how controlled your blood sugars are. It's all about diet, and if you can change that, but that's a really hard one. I struggle with that one myself. So it's about the diet, it's about movement. Movement is life. You gotta move. If you don't move, everything just kind of falls apart. Well, I am one of many primary care providers with the Elbowitz Clinic. I am located in Parshall, North Dakota, just by the grain bins. I couldn't tell you the address to save my life. But if you wanted to try to establish care there, or you just have questions about what we provide, primary care is birth to end of life. So I see pregnant women, I see babies, we try to do a little bit of in-home care if we can, meaning at end of life, we're definitely not hospice, but we can see patients for home visits if we need to. So you can schedule an appointment at 701-862-8220. So we have a healthcare provider in each community, so you just have to call your local clinic and get set up for primary care. And everybody should have a primary care provider, and you should see your primary care provider at least once a year.
Are you addicted to drugs? Narcotics Anonymous can help. If you are interested in Narcotics Anonymous and cannot make it to a physical meeting, or are wanting to experience the Fellowship of Recovering Addicts online, visit virtual-na.org to learn more about online meetings and meetings over the phone.
Hi, my name is Aisha Pinel. I'm the current cultural coordinator here at the MHA Interpretive Center. Tonight we hosted Understanding War Bonnet Parades in the process of giveaways, because these doings are coming up within the coming months, and not a lot of people know the protocol of how we give away or why we give away. And I can speak from my personal experience that I haven't always known these things, and I learned a lot today and tonight as well. So just wanted to provide that opportunity to the community to come and listen and learn.
It's a clanship that we have, and there are a lot of things based on it. And so I was showing and trying to tell the protocols of one of our ceremonies, which is the War Bonnet Parade ceremony, which allows a clan member to call on a child of their clan to help them out with the war bonnet and the parade. And so that'll be that person's either first time, second time, third time to give, and it'll go directly to the clan uncle or aunt. And then the other half of their stuff will go to the committee as a fundraiser for them to sell or do whatever to gather money for their powwow in the summer.
Yeah, I have a daughter actually, so she has a clan through me. It's matrilineal. She's water buster just like me, but her father isn't from here. So I was wondering what she would be child of. And they were talking about it. It would be a child. They'd go off of my sister's husband's
Yeah,
clan.
so Zaisha is, okay, so Zaisha is my clan aunt because I'm a child of a water buster and she's a water buster. But her dad, she is also a child of the water buster. So I have the rights through Magudzati to tease her because I'm a child of and she's a child of. But I can't tease her all the way through because we're only half and half.
It wasn't until I started working here actually that I started figuring out and learning and making relationships with other people that know that already. So it's all new to me too. I appreciate it. And he does establish that because he does tease me, but only so much.
Only so much because, you know, she's also my clan aunt, so I can't, she's the boss of me, so I can't say too much. It's kind of a half and half deal.
I just want to encourage people to learn. Any opportunity that presents itself to you to learn like this, that's all I try to do as cultural coordinator, is provide events like this. And take that as an opportunity, something new.
My takeaway would be that don't be afraid to be prepared with the knowledge of clanships, but if you have to jump in, always say yes and then go find out. Because it's all, the whole circle of clanship is to help you out and to help other people out. And how can you not want to be a part of that? Understanding or lack of understanding is not a real answer. So jump in with both feet and find out. And once you do, you either like it, you might want some more of it, or you might say, no, I don't want it and I've already done it. So either way, you've learned something new.
Alice Spotted Bear, she was our second tribal chairwoman. She was, the previous administration were the ones that got the ball rolling in regard to getting KMHA on air, but administrations changed and she became the chairperson of the tribal council, and it was under her administration that the actual work began on the radio station, and we went on air. And let me see, we went on air in March of 1984, and we had a real late spring blizzard that year in 1984. It was in May. We got hit by a blizzard. We got snowed in at the radio station for 3 days. I and one of our announcers, his name was John Feeble. We had a great time. We were, we stayed on air all night, playing this, playing that, doing this, doing that. Of course, we couldn't go anywhere. We were snowed in. And Alice, at that time, was living in a trailer not too far away from where the radio station is, and she kept us fed. She brought over food and water and all of that for I and John. And that's what I remember. Of course, one of the things I remember Alice about. My dad knew these people. It was moves. He would tell me stories about men with names like Move Slowly and Crow's Heart, and like One Horn, Poor Wolf. He always called them old men. They were cronies of his father. And Move Slowly, the old man said his name actually means turtle. Turtle, moves slowly. Who do we got here? I know her. Oh, that's Carol. Carol Cross. Oh, these are siblings. Marilyn, Carol, and Phyllis. Phyllis Cross. Their father was Martin Cross, and he was the tribal chairman during the times when the Garrison Dam was being built. And they lived a couple miles down the road from where I do now, my folks' old place. And their father and my dad were rodeo buddies, cronies. That is Wahidi, I think, number 7. Buffalo Bird Woman. Yeah, my daughter is named after her. I have a daughter named, we anglicized the name to Wahidi. And so I have a daughter who's married, and there's Keith. Rose is our first tribal chairwoman. Prior to that, it had always been men. Here's my brother Gerard. Gerard was National Park Service Ranger at A few places, you know, Knife River Indian Villages, Teddy Roosevelt National Park, Mountain Rushmore, actually. Yeah, Rose is one of our board members. This is her grandmother, her paternal grandmother. Yeah, her dad's mother. Rose, she's named after her Grandma Rose. Grandma Rose. Okay, this. Oh, that's Tilly Hance, I think, and Reba Walker. These ladies and their brother there, they're all siblings. Those ladies are the ones that purchased some land over by Knife River Indian Villages adjoining that, and they turned around and donated that back to the MHA Nations. Grandma Mattie Grinnell, she was the last full-blood Mandan. She died back in the about mid-70s or so. 104, I think she was. And interestingly, she was a Civil War widow. She received a Civil War widow pension. When she was young, back in the 20s or so, she married a Civil War veteran. And of course, he passed. But then she was successful after many years of, you know, advocating to receive a Civil War widow's pension. These are tribal members here. Those who contribute, you know, they're artists. We have politicians, artists, those who work in the government, all traditional, you know, keepers of knowledge and such. Who is this? Ben Benson. Okay, this is Uncle Edwin's grandfather. Okay, Arikara, Sanish. This is the tribe I identify with. Sanish, which means, of course, the people. This is the tribe I identify as the Mandan Hidatsa Arikara, or matrilineal. And my mother is predominantly Arikara, just a little bit of Mandan, and of course we have Northern European in my family line for both sides of the family. Who do we have here? Son of Star. Okay, you know, this guy is an icon. Among the Lakota people and a lot of the non-native people, Sitting Bull is instantly recognizable. Sitting Bull, everybody knows it. Among the Arikara people, everybody knows who Son of Star is. Okay, that's Bob Fox. Who is this? Oh, that's Grandma Rhoda. Rhoda Star. Okay, here's Ina Bosham. Ina Bosham. Looks like, okay, that's Bear's Belly. You know that iconic picture that was popular back, even way back when in the hippie era, of that native man standing with a bear skin on him, bear robe? That's Bear's Belly. And one of his, that bear robe, that bear skin, there was different societies, men's societies, warrior societies within the Arikara tribe. And one of them was called the Bears. And they had, you know, the grizzly bear skin, you know, and of course there were certain ceremonial objects tied to it and all, and they played a part in the medicine lodge ceremony. But there were many ceremonial medicine societies. Among them, of course, was the Bears, there was the Ducks, there was the Night Men, there was the Day Men, there were, you know, 3 or 4 others, several more, and they all played a part in the Arikara creation story, which was incorporated into what they simply call the big Arikara medicine ceremonial. And as I said, Bear's Belly was one of the priests or practitioners of it, and his family is still on the reservation. They shortened their name to Bell, just Bell, B-E-L-L. Our CEO, our CFO at the tribe, Whitney Bell. Whitney, this is his great-great-grandfather, I think, great-great-great-grandfather maybe. Okay, who else do we got here? Oh, that's Crow Ghost. Okay. Crow Ghost. The Son of Star, we got Bob Fox, Grandma Rhoda. These are my mother's aunts. There's Rhoda. And oh, that looks like, oh, that's Francis Cree. Okay, what else we got here? 1791, prior to 1790, the Arikara numbered nearly 30,000. We were the, if there was such a thing, we were the rulers of the Northern Plains at that time. And then beginning in 1790, there was a series of 3 large smallpox epidemics that eventually, and the last one was in 1836, that was the famous smallpox blankets thing. At the end, by the time that epidemic had run its course, there was like 500 of the Arikara left. So, I mean, they're the big, I don't know if you want to call it the big die-off, but that's what the traders and trappers and the chroniclers during that era called it, the big die-off. At the same time, the Hiradza, which numbered around 30,000, lost close to 95% of themselves. There was only 500. There was approximately 8,000 to 10,000 Mandan people prior to 1790. After 1836, there was 80 Mandan people left. And so, you know, the introduced diseases really did a lot in regard to wiping out a lot of the people. But those who survived, we say we came through the smallpox curtain, you know, and we're tempered by all of that, our genetics and stuff. And so, you know, I am the product of all of those survivors. Unfortunately, now we're losing all of our speakers left, although we are teaching it in the school now. But what I'm told is that being taught to speak it, you know, in a classroom setting is a lot different than actual one-on-one conversation with, you know, somebody who is fluent, you know, and that a fluent speaker can always tell a book learning speaker, in a sense. What complicates it too, in some tribes, there's 2 languages. There's a woman's language and a men's language. They're not so radically different, but certain words are. Like, for example, in Arikara, a greeting, just a generic greeting among men is Jeed, J-E-E-D, Jeed. A woman says Noah. That's the woman's way of greeting. Now, among men, the word Noah means that's it, no more, it's cut off, that's it, no more, Noah. However, in, you know, the Arikara women's dialect, that's a greeting, a hello.
When I was young, I was plagued by fear and self-pity. Drinking made me care less about my insecurities.
My life was in shambles, and I was trying to figure out how to pick up the pieces.
At first, I never drank on the job, but eventually I did.
Removing alcohol wasn't enough. It left me depressed and lonely. That's where AA offered a solution.
The people I met thought like me. For the first time in my life, I felt like I wasn't so crazy.
I remember sitting in the AA meeting and thinking, I finally found a place where I belong.
I never thought I could have made it through those hard times as the happy person I am today.
AA not only keeps me sober, it helps me live a much better life.
I found out I can do this thing, one day at a time. I've never been happier in my life. If you have a problem with alcohol, contact AA. It works for me.
And for me.
And for me.
Are you addicted to drugs? Narcotics Anonymous can help. If you are interested in Narcotics Anonymous and cannot make it to a physical meeting, or are wanting to experience the Fellowship of Recovering Addicts online, visit virtual-na.org to learn more about online meetings and meetings over the phone.